in the house. It's just a small ranch house, so it's a medium-sized pellet stove. Don't know the BTUs downstairs. But it'll just idle along, burns a bag a day. Got a big stove upstairs, which heats technically, it's big. Never run it on anything more than low. You put it on, I can't remember how many step settings there are. But if you ran it on high, I mean, it would blow us right out of the freaking house. It's made to heat a house that's like 3 times the size of ours. Overkill, right? It does pretty good. A bag a day. Go through a bag a day on that. So, bag times 30. It's got to get us, I figure, steady. It has to get us from, I would say, the beginning of December right through beginning of April. Safely, right? That's like, if you do the math, there's a little bit of a buffer there. So we'll probably pick up some more, but only 10 bags at a time. I wish I could have had them dropped at the house on pallets. That's what I wanted, but everybody's like a month and a half out just to get them, and I'm like, I ain't waiting that long. It's cold in the mornings here. It's been cold. I've actually had it running already just to take the chill off the house in the morning, so I ain't waiting that long. So I did it all manually, lug and shuffle. So anyways, let's go over to N2VJ, Jamie. Good morning, and unfortunately this will be my last one. I got things happening upstairs. I got to run up there quick. There's a little bit of racket, and I want to make sure the water's not going to burn down the house. N2VJ, K1GMM. Nice hearing everybody. We'll see you.
Okay, Steve. Geez, now I forgot to call. N2GMM. KMM. Oh, God, I'm so sorry. This is N2VJ. Good to hear you in there, Steve. And I'm on the wood stove list, too. I don't want to be limited with a pellet stove. I really would. And I've been entertaining a Hawkins. But I think basically right now, just for the short term, I'm just going to throw a wood stove in there, blast a hole in the wall, and put some insulated stovepipe in, along with all the normal other various and sundry fire protection techniques you do with a wood stove. I've always had great success with wood stoves. Even in a mobile home when I had the Redneck Riviera, good God, man, it would drive you out, and my cat would lay underneath that stove, and you touch him, and his fur would be really hot to touch. I was amazed that he could stand it under there, and he did. He had no problem with it. So that's on the list on the new place too, and making good headway there too. Except, man, I'm blasting out this big rock hedgerow right now where my driveway is going to be. The DPW already put in the culvert, and starting to look like a driveway now, except for the what was a 4-foot high by probably 5 foot or 6 foot wide rock. In my area, there's hedgerows everywhere. There's big hedgerows that have been built for 200 years, right? Yeah, just over time, as Schoharies' biggest crop, unfortunately, is rock and boulders. And, every season there's another one getting pushed up. So, instead of trucking it way across the field, you kind of build these hedgerows and break your fields up. That's what they did. And, Jesus, some of them are pretty big, and so I got myself a rock sledge to help me break some of the real big ones. But even some of the dense ones, you can't do it. You just can't break it. So, I'm using this sort of the roll and flip technique, because some of those boulders are, 3.5 feet by 3 feet, probably, pushing 400 pounds. Anyways, some of the stuff is sandstone, and that's pretty light, and you can break sandstone with repeated hits with a rock sledge. But man, some of them are glacial type moraine stuff that was kind of rolled in and really compressed, and they ain't breaking. And I got one particular pain in the ass one that I was able to flip and roll finally to this one side, but man, there's a slope there, and it's just wanting to go down into the culvert, and I can't, now I'm working against that upward slope, and man, I can't move that one anymore. So I said, okay, this rock is going to be the border, the end of the rock wall. So I'm breaking my way through that, and I can't do anything until I do that. I can't get a truck in there to drop off my gravel and that I need for the base for the Amish built garage that I'm having thrown on the property as a temporary answer to things. So that's been my weekend. So it was a pretty cool day on Saturday. Just was out there listening to the sheep baa and the goats yell and the ducks quack on the farm across the street while breaking rock and carrying rock, breaking down that rock wall so I can start getting my gravel imported in and all that stuff. So that's the tales from Lake Wobegon. I'm not complaining about it. Just just made me realize how out of shape I was, and I've been exercising pretty regularly now in the morning. While I'm talking to you guys, usually it's a good hour and a half that I'm kind of working out. I guess I'd say working out. It's nothing of any great. I'm not becoming Hercules or anything, but I can tell the difference by the way that I'm handling stuff on the property, that, I'm waking up that muscle memory again, and I might almost be losing the bowling ball, and that will make me happy. Go ahead, Kevin. Oh, by the way, that's a cool-looking console you got out there. That thing's in beautiful shape. K2XAM, this is N2VJ.
Right, N2VJ, K2XAM, the group. Yeah, I couldn't resist buying that. The price, the guy about gave it to me. The price was so right. The only regret I have is I didn't look at it closely enough. It's mono, so I can't use it for AM stereo. But that's okay. I bought it with the intent to just flip it. I'll take it to Kutztown. I'll give it a good hosing down and see if I can double my money or something off of it. Anyways, pellet stoves. I have thought, in fact, back in the days when Warren was still with us, Warren about had me talked into getting a pellet stove. And I actually was looking at prices at one point and so forth. But I never ended up pulling the trigger on it. And so I still don't have it. I don't know if I could even end up getting anybody to actually install one around here, because I had two different companies to do central air conditioning here over the summer, and the second guy never got me a quote. It's like, I guess people don't want to work. Or maybe he took a look around here because we look like Sanford and Son Incorporated over here and didn't think I was serious. But it's just, trying to get people, evidently, the other issue I had was I couldn't find anybody to come and get squirrels, to do anything with squirrels, so I ended up having to buy a bunch of my own traps and stuff and doing all of that stuff myself. It appears nobody wants to work anymore, and so I don't know if I could get somebody to come and install a pellet stove, even if I decided to end up getting one. And it kind of makes me worry. We've got natural gas here. We've got a forced air furnace that's up in the attic. And, of course, it works great last season. And I've got a gas-powered wood stove-looking thing in my living room that runs the heating system of this house. When we bought it, it didn't do a very good job. It'd be about 95 degrees here in the living room and about 55 degrees in the bedrooms. That was kind of useless. So I put that forced air system in, but as a backup to that, I've got a couple kerosene heaters, so it makes me wonder if I could get anybody here to actually fix the heating system if it did end up breaking. Those thoughts do kind of go through my mind. And Jamie, I thought you were going to use the McMartins to heat the house. I thought that was going in the kitchen of the new house, and with its big glowing 41000s and the Johnson Viking driving it and so forth. I thought Michelle approved all of that and so forth. I didn't think there was an issue.